Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very pleasant day. I bid to the honorable educators and everyone's watching. We are from Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Syed Putra, the Northern Boarding School in Malaysia. Before that, my name is Muhammad Izhan bin Shamsuri, and this is my friend Muhammad bin Musafar bin Mustafa and Adam Kardani. Today, for today, we are going to present about our prestigious product, which is known as starch FC. Before that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at why do we make starch? Because we want to substitute. We want to, as we know, we have been using plastic polystyrene for a very long time, and we all know that plastic has no good to the environment. So starch are going to save our planet. So let's take a look at our next slide. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the raw material we use to make up starch. So we have three raw materials that we use to make starch. Number one, we use the starch flour. And why do we use starch flour? Because we all know that starch is a very strong substance that can be used to make up something. So that's why starch is basically made up of starch. And it is a very stable and strong material to be used as a polystyrene to substitute the plastic polystyrene that we have been using for the very long time. And number two, we are using natural fiber, and as we know, natural fiber is something which is biodegradable. And lastly, we have the starch gel, which the function of starch gel here is to gum or to stick everything together. And the combination of these three raw materials are going to save our planets, because the good thing is all these three raw materials are biodegradable and they are going to save our planet because it is compostable and it won't be something harmful to the environment. Next. Before that, I would like to show our product, which is the starch itself. The shape is like this, and as we know, it is something like a polystyrene, which is basically a starch made up of starch, basic starch polystyrene, and it is not something like a plastic. But let's take a look at why do we invent this product at the very first place. The problem statement that we arise here. Number one, today, there are so many increasing number of waste on Earth because of plastics, because plastics are not biodegradable. And number two, plastic containers are harmful to the environment and also to the organisms. As the organisms consume or they eat plastics, they are not going to digest it. But this starch, it is edible and it is compostable and it is also safe. It is not harmful to the environment. So that's why this kind of product is going to save our planet, ladies and gentlemen. Next, let's take a look at our product description. So number one, it is made out of starch, as I have mentioned just now. Number two, it is effective solution for waste management because it is compostable. Number three, it is compostable. And number four, it is a non-toxic because it is a biochemical ingredient which is compostable and also biodegradable. And lastly, starch can be used to feed livestock also. And as I have mentioned just now, starch is edible. Maybe it is not edible for human, but it is edible for pets, also for animals like goats, cows, and also chickens, because it can feed them, because this is not something that is going to harm them. So for the next slide, I'm going to present Adam Kardani for our product novelty.
Now we take a look about the product novelty. First thing first, it is non-toxic. Second thing, it is environmental friendly and it is also multi-functions. Last thing is biodegradable, so it is safe for our environment. Next, now move to the methodology of how we are going to make the starch. First thing, starch gel, starch flour, and natural fiber are mixed together. The next step, we need an addition of some oil. And lastly, we compress it by using the compression mold. Okay, next. And next, we look at the advantages of starch. First is, it is using cheap raw material which is abundant and locally available. Next, it is various functions of product like food container and fertilizer for plant. It is also safe and environmental friendly product because it is biodegradable and compostable. It has fast degradation rate after use. And lastly, it is applying the concept of waste to wealth. Okay, next. So we have 3 experiments of e-starch testing. First thing is compression loading test. Next is water absorption, and the third one, it is environment degradation behavior. So I will pass this presentation to Muzaffar.
Okay, thank you Adam Kadani and Izhan for a very good explanation on our product. So next, let's take a look on deeper on the experiment that we would undergo to test our product. So the first experiment is the compression load versus different fiber content. So as you can see from the graph itself, or from the diagram itself, 3% fiber could only hold about 25 Newton, while 10% of fiber could hold more than 35 Newton. Well, as you can see, 35 Newton is better than 25 Newton. So of course, we would use 10% fiber content instead of 3% fiber, because this would make our product much stronger and durable. Next. So for our next test is that we would use compression load versus different types of fiber. So we have 3 different fiber, which is coconut husk, grass fiber, and lastly pulp fiber. So let's take a look on coconut husk. So, coconut husk only could hold around 15 Newton, while grass fibers stand to the highest, which could hold around 25 Newton. So the same reason like the first experiment, we would use the grass fiber because it would make our product more durable and would help would give satisfaction for our buyer or user. Next. Thirdly, we would use the test or experiment on amount of water uptake versus different fiber content. So as you can see, 3% fiber could hold more than 30% or 30 gram of water, while 10% of fiber could only hold around 15 gram of water. So from this, you could see that the higher the water, the quicker it the quicker for our product to get destroyed. So we took an alternative to use only 10% of fiber in order to maintain our shape, the shape of our product. Next. For our last test, we would test the time taken to soften the product versus different fiber content. So as you can see, 3% fiber could only hold to 40 minutes, while 10% of fiber could hold more than 100 minutes. Okay, so what this means is that the higher the content of the fiber content, the longer for our product could stay on. So as mentioned by our friend Izhan, he said that our product can be eaten by animals. So this is the picture to prove you that this product really could really be eaten by animal. So now let's take a look on the cost comparison. We have 3 types of plate, which is polystyrene plate, biodegradable PLA based plate, and lastly is our product, which is e-starch FC plate. So let's take a look one by one. Polystyrene plate costs around 8 cents to 10 cents per plate, while PLA based plate costs around 45 cents to 1 ringgit and 35 cents per plate, which is very expensive. But worry not, our product e-starch FC plate only costs around 15 cents to 25 cents per plate, which is very reasonable and cheap. Okay, so in conclusion, our product is alternative to the existent. It also has multi-purpose function, and lastly, it led to healthier environment.
Thank you for your time. Hope to see you later.